Hi, it's Randi Rhodes. Hope you enjoy this free clip from Political Voices Network.
Joe Biden has been a steady, competent leader. He's actually been an excellent president. The country is in much better shape than it was when we came out of the horror of Donald Trump. But he's not getting the credit for it. Why? Because Democrats continue to infight. They keep talking about, is Biden too old? And what about this over there? And then the progressives do this and this one does that. They've got to stop that.
Yes. And, that she's a Republican. Okay, she is. And so is Michael Steele. Michael Steele was the head of the Republican National Committee. He was the chairman of the Republican Party, right? And he's still a Republican. He hasn't renounced his party. He said he wants to be a Republican so that he can save what he thinks is left of the reputation of being a Republican, right? And people are trying to tell Michael Steele it's over, it's done, it's Trumpified, it's never gonna. But he still wants to fight for the Republican Party because he believes that there should be at least two parties in this country, and on that score, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Okay, and so kudos to him. But honestly, these are all Republican people that are sitting here, are Republican, media channels, Fox News, telling you Joe Biden's got a boom on his hands. You got boom towns happening all across the United States of America. In fact, they're booming so much that I think blue states ought to tell the red states that are booming, we don't want to carry you anymore. It's time for you to pony up and pay for your own infrastructure projects. It's time for you to pay for your own Medicaid bills. It's time for you to pay for your own public schools. It's time to pay for your own projects, right? We're sick of, floating you, carrying you, hauling you across the finish line. That's how big the boom is. That's how big it is. And then you do have people that are going to constantly complain, this isn't happening fast enough. That's not happening fast enough. Listen, we had the Build Back Better plan. That was the big, big package, right? But we were able to save the really, really important parts of Build Back Better. And the reason why we couldn't pass Build Back Better is because it did away with the subsidies for oil and gas. Why? We still pay them on the front end, right? We pay them on the front end to soil our land, okay? We pay them on the front end to drill. We pay them on the front end to frack, to use enormous amounts of water, to squeeze the last little remnants of fossil fuel out of rocks, literally. Well, we wanted to end that, and the Joe Manchins of the world, the Kirsten Cinemas of the world, they weren't down with it. They didn't want to wean themselves off of that money. They weren't in a position to do it emotionally. Chalk it up to that. But we actually were able to do the Chips and Science Act. We actually were able to do portions of Build Back Better that actually made the investments in clean energy. That actually, you just saw, like I said, it was New Jersey. That's where it was. There's a whole new wind turbine farm being built 15 miles off the coast of New Jersey. I believe there's a wind turbine farm that powers a good chunk of Rhode Island and a wind turbine farm that powers a whole bunch of Massachusetts, right? And so we're doing it. We're actually doing it. You know what it'd be like if we lived when FDR was president of the United States and he was doing, the Tennessee Valley project, right? Bringing electricity to the Tennessee Valley, to Appalachia, to the rural parts of the South. And we were criticizing because it wasn't going fast enough. Come on. That's wrong. That's just wrong. You need to focus on what has already occurred in just a year and a half. And in just a year and a half, we have seen a massive amount of growth in this country. Wage growth, GDP growth, a decrease in inflation, a decrease in prices of things. Eggs are no longer $9. I just bought eggs. I go every Saturday. I just bought eggs last Saturday. They were $2.19. $2.19 for a dozen eggs. That's what it's supposed to be. But we have seen far too little coverage of the transformation that is going on in little towns, in rural areas, in aging metro centers, right? The new investment that is going into these places is building plants and creating infrastructure projects and green energy, all related to the CHIPS Act, okay? And it would be nice to know that people who are living in towns like that, people who are living in the Rust Belt, people who are living in deindustrialized portions of the country that see the investment, that can see the orange barrels, that can see the infrastructure projects, that can see the improvement. It would be nice if they actually started calling talk shows and saying, they're building a new plant here and it's creating thousands of jobs. We just built this bridge over, on 95 after the fossil fuel truck exploded, and it was packed with renewables. It was packed with, repurposed plastics. We're seeing roads built. We're seeing bridges, not just the stuff that we had, but new stuff that we're accomplishing. It would be really nice. Instead of hearing, all these stories about, Joe Biden isn't selling his plan. Joe Biden sold his plan. His plan is actually working. That means it was sold and that somebody bought into it and voted for it and he got to sign it. Now it's up to you to actually notice it and report it and celebrate it and tell friends about it. Friends that are still, subject to the propaganda that is mainstream media. They like the horse race, okay? That is how they make their ratings. They like the horse race. They like the whole, this one against that one. They like making it seem closer than it is. It's not that is not what this is, okay? This is actual celebration time. This is noticing things that are going on. We are living through what will be a decade of economic transformation right now. And did you ever wonder, like, if you lived during FDR's, a New Deal, if you would have, told everybody how great it was? I don't know if you would have, because I don't know if you would have known it. If you didn't live in the Tennessee Valley, it probably wasn't that big of a deal because you already had electricity. See what I mean? Just like right now, you probably, I'm pretty sure you do, have broadband, or you probably couldn't be listening to me because I'm not on the radio except in like 2 places. And I make them carry us live, and that's the only radio we do. But so you have to have broadband, right? Well, there are places in this country that don't, but they will, and they do. Like some of them just came online yesterday, and some of them came online last week. And some of them will come online next week. For them, it's a big damn deal.